It is July the 7th. It's Michael Vaughn with Lee Barker, CEO of Sparton Resources. I want to begin with the battery business because safety concerns in China have changed the regulations there. Please explain.
Well, that's correct, Mike. It's good to be back now. The situation in China got very, very stressful for the local Chinese government evaluating battery installation systems with a major fire about 6 weeks ago at a shopping mall in Beijing.
Lithium ion.
This was a lithium ion installation supporting a solar panel system. The battery caught fire. There were 3, I believe, firemen died in the extinguishing the blaze and 11 people injured. And at that point, the Chinese government made an announcement, the Energy Bureau, that they're going to consider banning lithium-ion batteries for large-scale installations such as this in the future in China. So
well, that's what you realized years ago when you found the liquid electrolyte VRB flow battery.
Well, that's correct. I mean, these batteries are ultimately safe. There's nothing on them that will catch fire. And of course, the other advantages are fully recyclable. But more recently in the U.S. and Illinois, there's been a major fire in Illinois with a bunch of lithium batteries stored in an old paper mill. It caught fire. Over 1,000 homes had to be evacuated. And this is really in spades shown that there's a real major danger for these things, and there's still no solution to this for these.
Well, that's the context of the vanadium flow battery business. And VRB, very timely, received a $24 million U.S. investment from an Asian renewable energy company. Now, explain the transaction.
That's correct. A company called BCPG Public Limited, which is a Thailand-based public company listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange, has made an investment of $24 million US dollars in a convertible bond directly into VRB. BCPG is a major player in renewable energy installations for wind, solar, water power, and even transmission lines in a number of countries in Asia, including Australia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia,
I was reading up on them.
and Japan, and they're a major player. And they have a mission, obviously, and they selected VRB as the logical choice for safe, efficient, renewable energy storage using the VRB ESS system that VRB has developed.
Okay, it's 24 million US in the company now. What will VRB do with it?
Well, they're going to be completing the design, which, well, not just the design, but actually the construction of the Gen 3 system, which is more efficient, has a smaller footprint, and will be sold at a lower price point. They're in the negotiation stage for about 5 new contracts for these systems internationally and in Asia. And they're involved in integrating what we would call vertical integration for a supply of vanadium, so that they can have their own internal vanadium supply, control the costs of production, and generate a lower price point for their battery sales in the future. And that's where the 24 million in part, of course, will be used, plus for working capital as well.
Well, there'll be another round or two, you would think, as the company grows.
Yes, we understand, and we have no details on this, of course, because all of this is driven by the majority shareholder, which is HPX, now known as Ivanhoe Electric. And there appears to be a reasonable expectation that there'll be another round of financing. And then possibly an IPO after that. So those would take place at higher valuations, obviously. This is the normal process of doing business in this way. You start off with either seed capital, which was what began with the original acquisition by HPX of VRB, and then a round of financing now by a major player in the same business, BCPG. And then there'll be another round of financing probably to support additional sales. And then hopefully we think possibly an IPO.
Okay, now what people want to know is the valuation. What is Spartan Energy's share of VRB worth when it floats?
Well, we don't know, first of all, because we don't know what the transaction natures are going to be for those subsequent transactions. And at the moment, of course, we have a shareholder agreement with HPX, Ivanhoe Energy, that we can't disclose details of things unless they disclose them. So all I can really say, and this is a question that everybody asks me multiple times per day, all the various shareholders and stakeholders in our company. What the value is, all I can say is that the value will be substantial and that probably at the current level, it's undervalued based on today's share price.
Okay, in the minute we have left, Sparton has activities in Quebec, the old Brewell Project, which is being developed by El Dorado. An update, please?
El Dorado is currently at work on the property. They're completing a soil survey over the entire property package, completing their geophysical and LIDAR survey data, and we expect them to be drilling later this summer or early in the fall. They have a commitment of a $400,000 expenditure this year, and they will make it, there's no question.
Yeah. And Matachewan, what you're calling the Oaks Project, which is a vast series of claims right around the Young-Davidson mine. What happens there this summer?
We have a program planned to do some trenching, some prospecting, and some additional stripping on zones that we didn't look at previously. As you recall, we drilled the area around the old shaft. There's still a substantially very, what we call, active dynamic mineralized system there. The people from Young-Davidson have visited there. They like it. They haven't actually been involved directly with us yet, but they've been on the property 3 or 4 times. We have their drill core stored there at their site. And then, of course, we have next door, we have the former copper molybdenum producer that has a resource, a copper resource on it that's open in all directions, can be enhanced. And also there's a gold zone on that property that was never been recognized or followed up on that we would like to do some work on. That's very similar mineralogically to the west end of the Young-Davidson pit. It's a green carbonate zone similar to the Kirkland Larder Lake break mineralization. And there was a drill hole, one drill hole only drilled there that had about a gram over 15 meters and never followed up.
Well, that would keep you busy this summer, and you're debt-free, and you have some money in the bank because you called the warrants.
Well, that's where we're getting some working capital now. The warrants from last year's financing, the flow-through financing and the hard dollar financing will expire in early August, and most of the warrant holders now are starting to exercise those warrants because they're in the money. And also, in fact, the directors and officers of the company have exercised all their options. So we have some working capital, and we'll use that, of course, very prudently going forward.
Lee, thanks for the update. Always good to talk to you, and I'll see you later in the summer. Thanks for your time.
Looking forward to it, Mike. Thanks.